Jim, you doing any?
Somebody wants to hack into this.
No. That just means we get one extra listener. Someone hacks it.
Are we ready to start this thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Welcome to Everyone Racers, the show designed in the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemachamp or Lucky Track Dog League you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate. As long as you drive it hard, built it yourself, and leave it the F at home during the coronacation. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes in the world of amateur endurance racing, whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm mental.
Yay.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thanks again and coming back and listening to a Tax Day episode. I thought it was like March 87th. I didn't know we were in April yet.
I think it's 97.
Yeah, and we're still waiting for your tax guy to get.
I know. I got every day.
Intro.
Every day I walk past a tax office in the daily work and I say, I'm going to call Jamie. And I never do.
Please and thank you.
I mean, fortunately, it's extended to July, but like I really tired of waiting.
Yeah, I know. Y'all want your money, so.
Someday our taxes will be due, regardless of when the world gets back together.
Those of us that have to pay the government don't want to do our taxes.
Oh, there's that.
But that's okay. Listen, it is episode 134, and if you're not driving a car, you're welcome. If you're not driving a car, and we know that you're not driving a car because you're not allowed to go anywhere, don't forget the E1R bingo, new and improved, a couple weeks ago. It's been a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, 3 weeks, I think.
With this naming the days, do weeks even have meaning? Because there's pod day, post pod day.
We're in middle. Tomorrow is middle of the week someday.
And this is like this is like pod day -1 because pod day is usually not until tomorrow.
So
pod day -1.
Confusing. Like we can't even keep track of when it's pod day.
Mental, tell us what the hell is going on. Sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
So, all right, we'll go backwards, but on what you're working on, the reason we are changing from pod day to pod day -1 is tomorrow is a holiday. It's my wife's birthday.
Oh. I'll allow that.
So in a similar fashion that we celebrated our anniversary last week, we have gotten it took some schmoozing, but I managed to get us a table at a local restaurant that we're allowed to go to. It's here in the house. I'm not allowed into it very often.
Funny.
I usually don't meet,
where the heck are you going?
I don't meet the dress code most of the time, but I had to slip the maitre d' a couple. He's going to let me in.
Maitre d' something.
Which dog is the maitre d'? That's what I want to know.
The one that it's Rika, because that's Rika. Vicky's dog. Mocha would be like, "Yeah, it's awesome. Bring some in. Come on, we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna drink lots of caffeine." Rika's a little bit more of a guardian.
And all of them are not allowed into the kitchen.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
Well, because she's cooking and they get underfoot, and she'll.
I think it's hilarious when they inch and they're just like a little bit more
invisible line,
right?
Like the tile just changes.
But they go over the line, and then she looks at them, and they're like, "What? I wasn't doing anything." No,
and then they magically know when she's done cooking, and she brings a plate into the dining room or something, and they immediately go into Hoover mode, and they go in the kitchen. Looking for any crumbs that might have fallen up under the counter, and lick it.
I had my windscreen on. That probably didn't work so well.
Yeah. I also I had a house guest, Pantless Matt, in the middle of his move to LA.
Yeah, heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and he was quite gracious about the whole thing. He's like, "Look, man, I get it. If you don't want to do the social distance thing, but as much as Matt is capable, he has been adhering to the rules, and he's a healthy guy." And so he came in, and he was on his way through after. I don't want to tell his story about dealing with his moving company, trying to get his motorcycle and his car to LA, but that was fun. But I got to drive the Turbo Solstice. That thing is stupid. I've
driven those. They're crazy. I drove a Saturn version.
Yes.
But it was crazy.
It will just under normal acceleration. If you leave it in second, take it to the red line, it will break the rear tires loose. That is just when the turbo comes on. That thing is, and he kept saying, "Dude, you got to drive it. It's so much fun. It's so much fun." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'm sure it's fun. I have no doubt that it's entertaining. It's like a fat Miata. No, that is a fast friggin' car. A lot of fun.
I think they're like 260 horsepower, aren't they?
Yeah, something like that.
And he's got
certainly a lot more than the one we have.
Yes, and he's got a GM factory tune, which sneaks closer to 300 on this one. So that is a highly underrated car. And he got to drive the Benz, and he was like, "Dude, this thing is so great." So we got out of town and took for some long, straight, flat roads out towards the racetrack, and did right up to the speed limit, 55 miles an hour. But he's storing that here for a couple weeks until he gets settled out there in LA. And so we hung out and stayed up too late and drank too much, and then they did that, and a new project has reared its ugly head today that I'll be doing tomorrow in the morning. I was on my way to work, and the under tray of the Mercedes is now coming loose constantly. I think I broke it loose when I did my triple-digit run in California a few weeks ago, and now it's just starting to deteriorate, so I got to get into there. I'm going to have to pull the whole thing off and repair some stuff on it. Jeff?
Chris, do I need to talk you off the ledge?
No. I was just going to tell you all about how that whole system works.
Because initially I'm like, well, I'll just rip this all off out of here. And I've had a Volkswagen GTI, and I did that once, and everything went sideways after that. So I know I need to do it properly.
The thought that's going through your brain right now is every time I look at the ombre in Garage Heroes, I'm like, what did you do to my car?
There's a series of 3 under trays. They're all held in place by very like screws with like a wood screw kind of pattern to them. They're 8 millimeters.
Yes.
They all need to be screwed in very well. You have to take the middle one off first. Once the middle one's off, then you can take the front one off or the rear one off. But the middle one's got to come off first.
The middle tray or the middle screw? Okay.
Middle tray. Because they share screws.
Yes.
So middle tray's got to come up first. Before you jack it up, put the air suspension in high mode, get a jack with a hockey puck on it, and under the front there is a lifting point. Ooh. In the middle of the front tray is a lifting point. Make sure you get onto that lifting point, and you can jack the front end up, put your stands out to the sides, and pull the trays out.
Oh, good to know. Because today, like on my way to work, when it started doing it, I was reaching underneath there and kind of slapping it back in place. And as my hand is under there, all of a sudden it goes. I'm like, it's trying to bite me. It's trying to bite me. It's coming down.
Yep.
All right. Welcome to everyone.
Mercedes Mechanic.
Are you done, or you got other stuff there?
No. That's it.
I hear the motorcycles revving in the background in your palatial estate down there.
It's a beautiful day. I mean, it's been like we wake up every day at 60 degrees, and like it gets to 70. So we've been sitting here with the windows open constantly.
Must be nice.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Chris, what are you working on?
Well, we'll remember this when it's 118 degrees there in
right.
the desert. And it's
right.
Nice here.
Correct.
So, and also we have a place, like a beach. Anyway, we swapped the Solstice for the NSX. That was fun. And I've been working on house projects. The trim panel on the side of the oven is now on and all cut up and fit, right? Made a cabinet wall between the bar and the built-in fridge, which is heavy duty finished plywood that I had to route a notch in to fit the countertop in there. And then I also took a whiteboard, deconstructed it, took the whiteboard part of it, and glued it to the cabinet wood. So, and then put that whole thing up against the side cabinet of the bar there. So there's now a built-in whiteboard next to the bar and the fridge to write stuff on as you need to.
Very nice.
And then built the trim on the other side of the fridge. Because now that the fridge is a 42-inch Sub-Zero, it's a built-in thing, and it has to be right. And so it's in its little pocket. It's perfect. It fits nicely. It looks like it's made to be there because it is. So that's nice. I've been not doing that project for a year and a half. So fun to finally get that one done. The fridge is a bit difficult to move, though. It weighs 600 and something pounds empty. So we had to take all the food out of it, put it all in the coolers, and then when it's all out, well, you got to clean all the shelves and
Nooks,
stuff you never do.
crannies.
Yeah, exactly.
My mom was here and she used Q-tips and cleaned all of the little
Corners.
corners.
I love Jeff is telling us all how to clean out a fridge when I had to scrub purple drink out of the RV fridge that was like a year old.
Yes,
Or
and
the soup off his ceiling.
Let's see what else. Made a delicious ham. Washed some oil off a car, and my air compressor is now broken. The valve that changes the regulated flow out of my air compressor that I've had since 1998 or something like that, it won't go. It's stripped a piece, so I need a new valve for my air compressor.
Is that a Craftsman or is that a Harbor?
It is.
Okay.
It's a Craftsman one. I also took our show's advice though, and I drained the water out of my compressor, and there was a surprising amount in it. And then I broke the bleed valve off from lack of use, so I'm getting a new plug and bleed valve combo.
No. No, seriously. And I see safety squirrel on this one, but there are numerous pictures of compressors that explode because they get rust in there and it eats away at the bottom of it. When you go to build pressure in there, it lets loose catastrophically and basically has shrapnel flying around your garage.
Wah, wah, wah. Shrapnel, shrapnel.
Wow, you're fun tonight. Chrissy, what have you been working
Welcome
on?
to Everyone Compressors.
Yeah.
Everyone. So I got my new car's here. Yay! So exciting. It showed up on Friday. To our surprise, the shipper calls Chris and says, all right, I'm 2 hours away. And we're like, oh, great.
They picked it up in Fresno on Tuesday.
Hell yeah, they did.
Right? It's like
Friday morning. I had it.
On a cannonball on a car trailer, or like the hauler, like a tractor trailer with all the big one. So it was an E400 wagon. We bought it sight unseen. We saw some pictures and lots of extra pictures, but still it's nothing till you see it in person. And when we got it here, it was very dirty because it was outside all that time. But it's pretty much perfect. It's awesome. Just a few little rock trips, but really just a couple swirls that need to be, buffed out, and our detailer will be very happy to clean it. What?
Unboxing video. Make us a video.
I have to get to know the car first. It's going to take me like a little bit. Like I have to sit. So the other problem is that I don't ever drive it. Can't even like get to know where the controls are because I don't sit. I just sit in it.
You don't need to know where the controls are. Read the book and just point at them. You can edit the video.
The book is 600 pages.
And in
kidding.
German.
We both know you've read half of it already.
No.
Yeah.
Only half.
Yes.
so you'll see it. Well, you'll see it soon. I promise. I will send some teaser pics because the car's awesome. We Chris insisted us on washing it. We went to the farmer's market and did a curbside pickup, which was fantastic. So I basically pushed the button of open the hatch, and then I have my vegetables and my ham. They dropped them in the hatch, and then I closed it. I didn't have to talk to anybody. We turned around and was like, "Hi." That's it.
I only insisted we watch it because a completely rust-free 123 diesel Mercedes was parked directly above
nice.
We
the
saw
car.
that. We saw that on the group text, and it was funny because we all noticed the same thing.
That car leaked a tremendous amount of oil onto the panoramic sunroof and down the car.
Because it's a diesel. Of course it did.
So it took like 4 washings of the roof, including simple green, to get all of that crap off. I wouldn't want nasty old diesel oil sitting on the roof of the car.
Well, and especially because it's glass, so it had any little film and you can see it.
You still can see it. When you open the door, you can still see it just a little bit, but it looks much better, and it looks just so awesome. Okay, so anyway, when we swapped cars this weekend, it was great. We put the Solstice away, but that means the NSX had to come out, and then I drove the NSX home, and it was glorious.
Saw the video.
What's it been, like 6 months? How long has it been hiding?
Yeah,
we usually put about
in
November. Yeah, October, November.
We usually would have gotten it out by now, like a couple weeks ago. But what are we doing? I'm not going anywhere.
Now we have a full garage and not going anywhere. So
we only took it out because the Solstice took the last spot in the garage. It's the Civic and the Solstice and the Citroen and the MG.
We don't have any more room.
Okay, right.
Yep. So I had a great time with that. And then had some projects while Chris was doing the fridge. I was helping with the fridge, but I also cleaned our screen and porch, which was coated with winter dirt and pollen. We had an Easter dinner out there, Skyped with a bunch of family, and the ones we were quarantining with, they came over, and all's well. So I don't know what day it is. I have my night pants on because I changed out of my day pants to my night pants, for which I don't know what hour it is.
What's the difference between the day pants and the night pants?
No, it's just after like 72 hours, you go, I'm going to change now.
No, because I work out so much. I have workout. I change to
but you just go back and forth.
No, I've been in 3 pairs.
Jeff, if you're re-wearing your pants after you work out, you're not working out very hard.
No, I have shorts. I have the workout shorts, and then I put on jeans, and then I go to workout shorts.
Jeans?
Your day pajamas.
Jeans?
And your night pajamas.
Oh, mine are, which yoga pants are now?
Well, guys look weird in yoga pants, Chrissy.
Yeah, we have protrusions, then it doesn't work well. I've already switched to garage cargo shorts. The various forms of my garage cargo shorts.
It's just says 8 pairs of workout pants, like swishy pants. Yes,
wind pants.
They're not wind pants. All right, Jeff, what you working on? I want to hear what you're working on.
Nothing really. I didn't really. All right, I pulled the motor out of the Z on Easter weekend. It actually came out without too much of a fight. I'm gonna say, the
car was spitting it out.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, it's like every bolt has been unbolted before, except for the bell housing. So, like, except for the bell housing bolts, every bolt I had touched in a previous venture. So, and of course I yanked and told my wife, I'll be in a minute. And then like an hour later, I found the bolt in the bell housing that I didn't find the first time, because that's the way it works. So I have no storage anywhere. I can't fit it in a garage. So I said, well, I'm just going to put it in a tarp and put it in the side yard. And I put some pictures in the like the show notes there. I had to build, because there's like gravel parking spot. You can actually go to the drive and see them in full definition. So I had to get the engine hoist across like 17 feet of gravel, which like those little metal wheels.
and it is not a light thing.
A 900-pound engine or whatever the hell that thing cost.
Did you have a helper?
No, Coronication. I can't have helpers. The wife will not allow it. Oh no, she will not allow it. So I had to set up like a like board system, which of course they don't go straight, so it would like fall off the board, and then the entire thing would like half tip over, and then I had to like stand on one side and yank it. At one point, I was like
a Saturday night.
I was like levering it with a chunk of the half magic trailer that I have still laying around. Like, it gets bad when that happened. So while I was there, I came up with a great thing, and it's lies we tell our wives while we're pulling a motor. This is only going to take a few hours. Don't worry, I'm completely safe. And it's not going to stay in the yard long. Someone is going to buy it.
I would I'd like a motion, please. Being that I don't live in Georgia anymore, and Jeff, I'd like to relinquish my title as the Team Redneck, please.
Oh, it is so rednecky. I have old trailers. I had to move a rusty truck tire for a truck.
I don't own a rusty pickup, and Jeff does, and
like 3 lawnmowers, none of them work.
All you need is a watercraft not on a trailer.
Yeah. I had that, but Darren took it.
Right.
So there's another picture there. If you all click back to the drive and look at the clutch picture.
Yeah, that's funny.
Clearly, the lie that the redneck gives when they're trying to sell a janky Z with lifter tick is that clutch is brand new. That clutch had like maybe half a day on it. That thing is so worn. So
I mean, those 6-puck clutches don't have a ton of meat on them to start with.
Well, and they were trying to learn how to drift it, which tells me they were probably trying to do a bunch of clutch kicks. And if they didn't have the steering done right, means they were probably plowing it a little, which means they were riding the clutch trying to get it to kick out.
There's like 2 millimeters before rivets on that thing. So Anyway, so I also did some eye painting and eye racing and Easter egg hiding, but none of that is important for this podcast. Or we'll actually get to it later in the podcast because we have a guest tonight who is an extremely quiet guest.
What?
He has not interrupted us yet, which,
Seriously,
Eric,
do you
polite.
listen to this show at all? Ever?
Eric Rude is like
Do I
already
listen to the show?
No.
I talk to you guys on a regular basis.
Oh, you don't listen to his show?
Why would he? All right.
Well, none
our
of you
guest-
watched my Twitch stream last night.
Twitch.
In my defense,
I don't know what that
is.
is.
It's because I'm not 14, so I don't watch Twitch at all.
I was too busy with Fortnite Twitch. So our special guest is Three Pedal Mafia OG teammate, our communications tech. He also has the distinct privilege of being my brother. Whew,
Sorry.
from the same mother, not brother from another mother. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jim Wakeman. Jim, what you working on since you
Hi,
didn't
Jim.
come over, even though
Hi,
you
Jim.
live 3 blocks away and help me with the Z? Because I didn't ask, I'm going to say. Because
That's
my
true.
wife does not want guests.
Of course, you all were here sitting in our driveway earlier today.
I know.
So I'm not sure how selective that rule gets applied. But anyway,
Middle school teacher parade today, everybody.
Yay!
yes. The elementary school came by later. So that was
Great.
pretty cool.
Sounds
Anyway.
fun.
So what I am working on is I am painting a bunch of little miniature game figures, trying to learn how to use my airbrush, which may or may not become relevant to this crew sometime this year when we start theming cars. If I can actually someday.
Yeah.
I'm sensing like wizard and half naked chainmail clad women with big
did
busts.
somebody buy a van? Oh.
No, they're little, and they're mostly clothed.
Yeah, you could do that to the side of the enclosed trailer.
There you go.
Big black mural there.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh yeah, and no, instead of the muscled up, Aztec holding the maiden, from the conquistador, go instead with like the wizard hat and the black hole. I mean, let's just be honest about it. Let's just get right into it. But
Yeah.
yes, on the new Jeff trailer, there absolutely needs to be a mural on the side.
And it will be awful because I am not that good yet.
We got to practice somewhere.
It's Jeff's
Yes.
trailer. Who cares?
Wow.
It's their trailer. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He owns half of it.
Yes. So that and painting virtual race cars for iRacing is the other thing I've been doing.
Hey, very
Um,
convenient.
And trying to launch a Twitch channel, but
What?
yeah, I got
No, that's-
3 viewers for a total of 45 seconds worth of viewing last night
Nice.
This is actually not
for the
mockery.
E1R invitational race.
This is not mockery. I see Chrissy's confusion. Twitch, I kid you not, it is an app where people watch other people play video games. And apparently, if you get to a certain level, you can make money doing this.
So I
Lots
heard
of
that's
money.
Josh has been doing this since he was born.
No, not twitching. He talks about
He
Twitch.
watches.
No, he watches.
He watches on YouTube, he tells me, because Twitch is for losers. I don't know the difference. I'm gonna be honest.
But long before Twitch existed, Josh watched YouTube videos. That's where I learned about YouTube, that it was cool to watch YouTube. Not cool. Sorry, take that back. Interesting for small children to do that.
Watch
Okay,
other people play video games.
terrible trivia time. Who is the biggest social media star who has the most watchers in the world?
On what platform?
Every platform.
I'm
Christy
afraid of this
Teigen.
answer.
It's Ninja, who is a Twitch streamer, has more viewers than the Kardashians and all that other crap on Twitter.
Eh.
What does he do?
He plays video games and he gives like advice, crappy advice to pre-teenagers.
I don't like to know. I don't like to know this exists.
It's terrible, but he makes millions.
It makes me really sad.
Whatevs.
Makes me sad that I couldn't have come up with that idea. A long time ago.
News and notes time. Sorry, Jim, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so if you want to watch somebody play something that's not a video game on Twitch, look for Critical Role. They play Dungeons and Dragons.
That
And
sounds
apparently
thrilling.
they are making a ton of money at it.
They do.
They had a Kickstarter and they made millions of dollars on their Kickstarter, and they're producing an animated something or other from their first D&D game. It's crazy.
What's this world coming to?
That's
Well, right now everyone's extra bored, so
the mural is taking shape. Airbrushed on the side of the trailer is a table, and everyone's wearing ill-fitting pork chop sandwiches, and they're rolling dice and holding papers. This is the airbrush that is going to be in the side of the trailer.
They're wearing pork chop sandwiches?
Pork chop sandwich T-shirts.
I don't know what that is.
It's a reference of a reference. There's some people here that get the pork chop sandwiches.
No.
Mental tells a story that goes nowhere.
Nope.
Right over my head.
Nerds
News
are getting it.
and notes. Somebody get us a news and notes.
Empty freeways are a huge temptation, and it's not just me. You got the cannonballers. You got crazy people in Manhattan with Gimbala Porsche cars.
Yeah.
Last week, the Orange County Registry published a not shocking, but actually researched article stating exactly that. Quoting from the article, compared to the previous March, 2019, the number of speeding tickets handed to drivers going 100 miles an hour plus on freeways statewide jumped 42% compared to March. According to the California Highway Patrol. At the same time, the overall number of speeding citations fell by 18%, the CHP said. So we got us fewer tickets, but those of us with a heavier foot are just kind of pushing our luck because, hey, the roads are clear. Why not? And honestly, myself included, we shouldn't be doing that. Now, the California Highway Patrol added that the jump in speeds has been the most noticeable between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Anyone want to guess why?
People are in gridlock, stupid traffic on the 405.
Exactly. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. But they've still got those commuter instincts of must get home quickly as possible, must cut everyone off whether it's 10 feet. Yeah. But they're warning that the surface streets in LA, and I'm noticing kind of the same thing here. Now they've been traveling 12% faster on weekdays, 6% faster on weekends. The problem is it's corresponding to an increase in pedestrian and bicycle traffic. People are out maintaining their social distancing, getting their exercises. So all of us, myself included, let's all just agree to dial it back a tick. Link to the articles in our show notes.
So just don't bounce off the speed limiter.
Yeah,
got it.
Come on.
I mean, it's like, I don't understand that. So you're out there, there's no cars, so the highway patrol's got to be bored out of their skull, and you go by at 100 miles an hour, of course they're going to chase you and write you every ticket they get.
Look,
they're going to talk because they just haven't talked to anybody all day.
I'm just saying that there was a brief period of time where I had to shuffle all the cars because of, pulling the motor, the Z. So I had to move stuff everywhere. So the Corvette came out and I said to the lovely and talented Jennifer, hey, we need new tires. You want to go for a ride? And she says, why are those two connected?
Oh.
Honey,
you say get in, let's go. I'll tell you what.
Get in, loser. We're doing burnouts.
I chunked the hell out of those rears this weekend.
Did you? That's so much fun.
It was. Anyway, this is not a drill, but this is important. Gas can be had for under $1 a gallon in the United States.
It's far away from us.
It is. Sadly, it is in Michigan. So here's the deal. OPEC is fighting. No one is driving because of coronation. Michigan has all kinds of favorable laws because, the car industry is there or something. So their gas is usually cheap in a regular week. So it has literally fell. This is from a Jalopnik article. And it was $1.89.
That's crazy.
Under $2 a gallon.
I'm sorry, 89. I'm sorry, 89 cents. I'm
Great.
opening it up here.
89 cents?
Yeah, they have a picture.
Get your trash cans out. Start filling them up in the back of your truck. Come on.
For some reason, my internet is slow because my son is Twitch streaming or something upstairs. There's the picture. Do you see the picture?
Because you have the crap running behind you.
Probably.
Yeah, I think I paid about that price when I was a sophomore
17.
in college.
Yeah, exactly.
I do remember my freshman year in college. It was some last time oil was like $8 a barrel or whatever it was, and I remember filling up my Integra GSR for 99 cents a gallon for super.
There
which
we
was
go.
pretty
We
fun.
got it.
Super, really? I remember 99 cents a gallon.
That is a current picture.
Wow.
85 cents a gallon for cash, 94 credit, E85 $1.79.
Wow.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Next story. Sorry, my I'm not on my drive now.
It's fine. It's
Am
Chris's
I the
turn.
next? Okay, go ahead.
No.
It's
Hello,
my turn
Chris?
now? Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was done yet. So anyway, we deal with cars, but occasionally we might imbibe in a malty, fermented, or distilled beverage. So you've probably seen pictures of the elderly woman holding a Coors Light and a sign on her window saying, "I need more beer." Probably didn't know is that she, Olive Vernozzi, is 93 years old of Seminole, Pennsylvania. She lives just outside of Pittsburgh, and even though it wasn't Steel Reserve, she needed some beer. So, well, Coors also saw that picture. They responded. They sent 10, 15 packs of cans to her front door, prompting her to hold up a new sign reading, "Got more beer." So, on footage taken that day of the delivery, Miss Vernozzi opens up a can on her porch and exclaims, "That tastes pretty good." She's lying. It's Coors Light. It's terrible. I was on my last 12 cans. I have a beer every night. And you know what? Beer has vitamins in it. It's good for you as long as you don't overdo it.
Oh, good.
Moderate things, Mrs.
An
Vernozzi.
old woman from
moderation.
Pittsburgh.
I'd just like to say that the average 93-year-old woman in Pittsburgh should be drinking an Iron City beer. Unless she's really high class, then it's a Rolling Rock.
Oh no, he said Steel Reserve. I agree with the.
Nah, they don't drink that in Pittsburgh.
You would know. Okay, back to car news. Actually, this is now all over the news. We heard it twice on the radio today, so it's definitely a thing getting out there. And back to racing, all over the news and in our Insta story. We talked about the recent passing of Sir Sterling Moss. The team at Haggerty has written one of several tributes, and it is worth your time probably to read and research. It's in our show notes. Check it out.
Racer Rona reaction. So someone mentioned cannonballs earlier. We didn't really talk about it, but it happened right after our show. It happened. We don't have the deets yet, but Cannonball alumni and guru Ed Bolian does, and he says it happened and it wasn't him. A team has exploited the coronavirus pandemic to set 26-hour, 38-minute cross-country record.
You're so excited by this.
I am not so excited by this because it just makes it harder and harder for me to break someday.
Sure.
So let's do this. Just a quick review. Bolian and DeBlack, 2013, 28 minutes and 28 hours, 50 minutes. December 2019, Tommen and Talbot, 27 hours, 25 minutes. Considered an unbreakable record because they had so much help. Bolian and Black started having people running in front of them and having spotters and stuff. Tommen and Talbot had hundreds of spotters. Set up a network like you wouldn't believe. We have no idea who did it. But 26 hours and 38 minutes is almost an entire hour off. It was an Audi A8. It had a ginormous fuel cell. That's all we know.
The pictures here, it's not a fuel cell. I know exactly that tank because I have one in my Boston Whaler.
Yeah.
Not kidding. That is a Muller Industries 26-gallon boat gas tank.
Yeah.
We have one of those.
Held
there's
with a
two of them.
ratchet strap.
I didn't say it was a racing cell. It is.
I wouldn't be generous enough to call it a fuel cell. It's a bucket o' gas, is what it is.
A big
It's just
plastic
contained.
bucket. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
two
exactly.
buckets of gas.
Yeah. 2019.
That would not be legal in any track day racing organization.
Oh,
It's
no.
not even legal driving down to the street.
Yeah.
And the slosh with that much gas is, I mean, it's crazy.
And the other guys who have done this have at least used fuel cells. All right,
Some
great.
of them. Yeah.
Most of them. Well, like I know that's the last couple at least. All the big Mercedes with the stuff in the trunk have used fuel cells. Anyway, Chrissy.
How does this work? So they say they don't know. Nobody knows who it is. Are they just waiting to get the official? So they know
They're waiting for the statute of limitations.
because it's illegal.
Oh, it's illegal.
It's very illegal.
Yeah, but if they don't get pulled over,
Too late. If there's evidence they did, they could potentially bring a
and
case.
the only way
it's
to
criminal
prove it-
stuff. It's not civil.
Yeah, you can't they wouldn't charge them with speeding. They could charge them with public endangerment and
Oh, okay. So it's
So-
not like they have to catch them. They just, if they know that they were going this fast, then they can just arrest them just to say that these are the things you did. Don't they
well,
need proof?
if they can prove a time and a date
And
within
a
the statute of limitations, like
and a
that.
location, which is usually how you prove that you crossed the country. So what happened with these people? Who knows who they are because they haven't said it yet, is they gave all of their evidence to Ed Boylan, who has the VinWiki car channel and owned the 2013 record. So he has become, because he is moderately famous and has a big media presence, he has become like the arbiter of the record.
Which is an impressive career from a guy that was basically doing buy here, pay here Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
To become,
totally.
to become the
Totally.
Purveyor of Cannonball
and-
records.
And I'm going to tell you, I love Ed. I think Ed is I don't know him obviously, but I love his material. I love his show. Even he is saying, and so are a lot of the other Cannonballers, that this was kind of a dick move. To go out during the national pandemic and potentially cause injury that would put people in the hospital when we're trying to keep the hospitals open. But then he said in the same breath, but who am I to say I also put people's lives in danger? So maybe it has an asterisk, maybe it doesn't have an asterisk. I am not the arbiter of this rule.
I think
But I would like.
it was like, oh, this is like the heroin dealer telling the coke dealer, like, hey, stop
Exactly.
doing that.
Are you reading the article?
I
It
would
says
also.
that in here.
I've
Yeah,
read it before.
that's a quote.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would also offer up to and everyone listening already knows this. Called it. We totally called it.
Oh,
We
please.
said that was going to happen.
Everybody knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. Back in like March the 47th. So yeah. Jim, it sounded like you had a point to make earlier and you let us bulldoze over you, but you're gonna have to get over that.
That's fine. Like I said, I mean, like, there's another thing. So now Jeff has said there is a place where these records are officially held. Somebody has seen this evidence. Maybe a subpoena is on its way.
Who knows?
Because, there's no privilege in, hey, I'm a random quasi-famous YouTube celebrity.
Are you suggesting there's no YouTube immunity for this?
I'm a journalist.
That's true. It could say journalist.
Well, also, but you're going to have to do the subpoena would have to be at a federal level, or unless it's a state that recognizes. Probably Missouri has the most. Yeah. Anyway, we're done with this crap.
Yeah, let's talk about our stuff.
Jeff, you've got a much more better race.
Yeah, so we held a race. We held a quick podcast, and we held an iRace.
Totally legal.
Wait.
Legal.
And nobody said the N-word, and nobody got fired. How is it that nobody brought up that? Anyway, look, we all have been talking about the E1R, the Lemons iRacing. Some people got in, some people didn't. Some people were butthurt, some people weren't. It's all over the internet. Wow.
Lemons is
people crashed my fake car.
Lemons has 4 races this week. They have really stepped up.
So we said we're going to go racing, and we hosted our own iRace, and we're calling it a tune-up because we're doing the same track and the same cars as the Lemons race, and we're doing it a few days before. And number one rally correspondent Santiago has been Facebook messaging me like, if you guys iRace, you got to let me in. He sounds like Mental's dogs. Yeah, he kicked all of our butts. That dude can wheel
Next
a fake
time,
car.
you're not allowed coming in.
And
Not giving you the right password. Sorry.
and this thing is that saying something? Because you've got some hacks in there. Like I'm an idiot.
Oh, Randy Bish was there. He's racing.
Dude, well, Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave.
He can
Absolutely.
throw down. And second race had Amanda Tully, so we had some skill.
Wow. Amanda's new. She said that was her first iRace ever.
Okay, now I hate her even more.
Anyway, what do we want to talk about the race? Anybody want to say anything?
Well, yeah.
We are not doing results of an iRace. I refuse.
All right,
I'm
well,
not
fine.
doing it.
I'll do it. So race 1, we
No.
saw.
I said
Oh,
we.
no.
We are
No,
not doing
You
results.
said I refuse. All right,
I'll just
I can
post
be
the
done
stuff
by
to
now
my
if you-
my
I'd be
YouTube
done
channel.
by now if you'd shut up.
Wait. I got an idea. Jim, plug your
Yeah.
Twitch, and then they can go watch.
I don't know how to get the video up there, so the video is going to end up on my YouTube channel.
So race 1, Santiago ran away with it. Green to checker, all the way start to finish. B class was Tom Shelton. C went to Randy Bish. He actually finished 6th overall, beat all the B class cars. Second race had Lee Molman stay in front of Santiago, and every time they came by me, that was hotly contested. But he did it from green to checker. Randy Bish then moved up to B class from a Solstice to a Jetta, finished 4th overall, and Class C went to Chris.
Only because I didn't crash into anything. That's about it.
But Jeff, you know what you should talk about is how often we're going to do this and how folks can get the password and what they need to do.
So we're planning to do this just about every Monday. We're going to do a race or two, depending on how tired and whiny Chris gets, because he's got to go to bed or something.
He doesn't have to
I
stay.
get fussy.
Next time it's going to be me
Chris
anyway.
is not the one in that house that whines at bedtime.
Look,
I
the
went
most
to
important
bed.
thing, we're going to get to the most important thing, which is how you're going to paint your car. We don't want 1,000 people in it. But pretty much if you hear the podcast, you can email us and we're going to give you the password. All right. So all 400 of the people who listen to the podcast every week can get in.
Yeah. Everyone.races@gmail.com. Email us. Usually Jeff and I will respond to you and give you the password.
That's right.
Yep.
Should we do the same password? That way everyone who's listening doesn't have to bother emails.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've already got the password. It ain't
Same
changing.
password. Ain't changing.
Yep.
Awesome.
And join us on the Discord channel too.
What? Oh, hang on. I don't get the Discord channel. We've got the push to talk in the cars. That seems completely extraneous.
Should we save this for the main topic? Because our expert is
let's
here
save
who
it for
does
the
the
main topic. Yeah.
Let's do listener feedback.
Listener feedback.
Erling just died.
No, it's far enough away. I put my
No, it
microphone-
wasn't.
He's in Sweden, but he has
it was
headphones.
The initial L to that, but again, it's Chrissy's voice.
Yeah.
not Jeff's,
It's fine.
It was
It's
not
fine.
too far
It's
away.
not nearly annoying as my
I put
voice.
my head up and I'm sorry. Okay, so we did get some feedback on our actual live episode posted on YouTube. Luke A, which is my new favorite person, he said, I enjoyed the episode. Glad that they're on YouTube. I typically listen at work, but thanks for the tips on the radiators. This is awesome. All the things that I'm learning are things that I realize I'm not doing. I'm doing on my V8 swap project, like no fan shroud and those fancy radiator zip ties. Haha. Well, I won't be endurance racing it, but it's definitely something I'm going to address soon. So thank you so much for the good feedback, and thanks for listening to the show.
Luke A,
Awesome.
what kind of V8 are you stuffing into what? We got to know.
Absolutely. Email
Write
us.
us in. Tell us your story.
On the actual tube itself, we also got a few new, and I think the same Luke again was thrilled with Strongman. I have not seen Strongman in forever. Strongdor. Also,
Doesn't
Exumer
sound
Tracks, I am
Strongman.
absolutely sure is not a Russian bot, said, very nice. I hope this channel makes it big one day. Let's be friends. Hugs and kisses. And Mully06
It
actually
might be a
had,
Chinese bot mental. No, it doesn't have to be Russian.
Did we just do listener feedback from a Chinese bot? Oh my God, we've fallen.
Mully006 actually had a technical question, which
good.
I'm going
I
to
like
present
this.
this for Chris, the guy who doesn't store engines outside. So he said, any idea on that coolant pressure? R240 builds some pressure in the coolant, pisses rust water out of the cap, and then loses about a quart a day. I'm in denial that it's the head gasket. Chris, please help our listener out of this.
The Nile ain't just a river in Egypt, my friend. It depends on the cap pressure. Usually we run a 13 or 16 psi cap to keep the pressure in and keep the boiling temperature up. There are times that the pressure inside the cooling system has been higher than the cap pressure, and it has filled up our overflow. Every single time that's happened, guess what? Blown head gasket. Every time. A couple different motors. Every time. One of the motors went a race and a half, though, without being fixed. It's the end of every day. We take the overflow, we pour it back in the radiator and say, send it. And that was about it.
It's Boyle's Law, everybody. Look that up in your physics textbook.
Yep.
All right.
Now's a great time to fix your head gasket, by the way, because what the hell else?
What else you going to do?
Right.
Listen, I did want to do a quick shout out. I did it on the YouTube's, Facebooks. I don't remember where I did it, but I congratulated Dave for coming in fourth in the first Lemons Racing event in his Camaro, spelled with, never mind. And on Instagram, Mikey W said he totally recognizes the logo. And everybody was really impressed with Dave's livery. And then Brett A said, that Camaro went past me much quicker than the Cressida. So he even recognized it as the paint scheme from the Cressida.
Okay.
Topic.
Great.
Hey, everybody. Hey, psst, it's main topic time.
It's an ASMR video.
This is not an ASMR video, but if you like ASMR, then that's creepy. But it's
Jeff scratches his beard.
I didn't mean for this to be ASMR. I just wanted to be quiet because I just blew out Erling's ears. So, we're having main topic time. Did I break some people? That would be awesome. Anyway, even prior to the corona, yes. Even prior to the coronation, iRacing has grown to be a huge part of our sport. It's a great way to learn the track. I'll learn a new track. I learned Lime Rock last night. I was doing some practice laps. Never been on it. Learned it. And did pretty well.
I've never been on it, and I didn't learn any of it.
That's because you're
You
a bad
learned how to
driver.
launch your motor.
But it's a great way to meet up and socialize with all the people that you would be partying with at the track, and do it on iRacing. Lots of listeners have invested varying levels of iRacing setups, but we've talked about that before. So we want to talk tonight about a great and free way to personalize your iRacing rides in paint schemes. This is totally necessary, especially running with Lemons. And Jeff, do you have a question for Jim?
Should we do the Discord question first and then get it out so that way?
Yeah.
All right.
Why
so
bother?
communications
I
inside
can't
iRacing.
It's a whole extra app I got to open to the computer. I got to then figure out how the hell to make it to work so I can actually hear that and hear my car to actually know when to shift. Like, it just seems like a huge pain in the ass for no benefit when we can just use the push to talk. Because frankly, I don't want to hear everyone breathing and swearing at themselves and saying, go, go, go.
Scratching their beard into the microphone.
Right. Like, I'm sure Jeff was saying all kinds of crap because he was doing such a terrible job. I don't want to hear all of that from 40 people. Like, I don't want to do this. Why is this better?
It's not.
Okay, then.
I do Discord when I'm not racing. I don't have the Discord up when I'm racing. I do the Discord before and after.
All right, so I'm going to put a plug for the Discord in your iRacing team, and this is why. If we go to the Lemons race, and there are 60-some people in the Lemons race, the Discord becomes a private channel.
Sure, then it's spotting. I get that, but I don't want to get everybody on our race on Discord. It's just going to be a hot mess, and I'm going to shut it off, and then I won't be able to hear my car, and it'll be terrible. Rant over.
All right, Discord over. Let's talk about painting your fake car inside the not game sim of iRacing.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
it's
excited
hella
about
cool.
this.
I'm really excited about this too.
I saw the giraffe Pontiac. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's mine.
I spent 2 freaking hours trying to get the whole thing, everything downloaded, and like it just doesn't work. And I'm not.
He
like,
was
terrible
so
at computers.
mad,
You know,
stomping
okay.
mad.
Yeah, and Chris is the smartest guy. Well, I'm sorry.
Not computer.
Normally, on any other episode, Chris is the smartest guy on the screen. Right
Maybe
now,
so.
he's getting a run for it.
We finally found something we can fix that Chris can't. Let me tell you, I do.
Not you.
I do Photoshop like for my work sometimes. Not a lot. I'm the one who made like the E1R logo, so you can throw shit at me for however you don't like it, and I want to redo it and stuff like that. Like, I know how to use these programs. I had to call my brother and be like, dude, what is all this crap? Why do I have to do it? What is so we said
because
we're gonna
his Miata was tight.
I know. He talked me through it. And the only reason that I was able to make the giraffe car is because my brother talked me through it. So, Jim, start us off at the basics. What is the deal with personalizing your livery on iRacing? What's the minimum you need to not look like a total jerk off who just started the game and hasn't painted their car?
All right. Well, first, you want to go to the built-in stuff for iRacing. You can pick colors. You can do a total custom scheme. They have different So you pick all your custom. You pick like 1 to 3 colors, and then you pick like out of like the 24 paint schemes, and you can have something that looks pretty good. So you get there. There's a couple ways to get there, depending on whether you're using the beta UI or the web. So basically, if you're in the beta UI, you go to My Content and Paint Shop there, then you select your car. If you're on the web, then you go to Account, Customize Paint Schemes, Customize Cars, then select the car.
I didn't even realize there was 2 different things, like IU and the web. Like, there are some people out there who are total racing noobs, like me and Amanda and a couple of others. Dave loves the web. I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah, I went to the UI too, because I guess when I started this, I saw there were 2 options, and I said, "Well, do I want the old one or do I want the beta?" It's like, I'm gonna go with the beta because if they're gonna change it at some point, I don't want to know the old one. I want to learn the new one. So that was my rationale.
But if, some people love the website. Basically, it's a website, and the beta is a different website in a frame that runs outside of your browser. So they're not terribly different.
Jim programs computers for a living, and he is trying so hard not to lose us all.
Yeah, he's dumbing it down pretty well.
He's like, speak like a 5-year-old. Speak like a 5-year-old.
No. So anyway,
there's a philosophy major on here, so you're gonna have to get real dumb.
So the first step is to find that point in the iRacing setup. Find the built-in stuff. Because that will become important.
Even I could do that. Like, I got to that point and made, before I knew you could customize it, I still made a beige Solstice with red things on the side and, Pontiac logos on it. But, I can't put an E1R logo on it or a
yes,
3-pedal
a rubber penis or anything like that. So.
Yes, but this part of the website or the user interface is very important, because this is where, if you notice, there will be a button somewhere on that page that basically says download car template.
And you need the templates for everything else that you're doing.
That comes later, but find that first. Make sure you can find that. Make sure you can find where to download those templates.
And but I think Lemons put those up too on the site for I Suck at Racing. Down to the bottom when it says, like, I don't know what I'm doing, and there's a spot where you can actually download from a Google Drive all the templates for all the cars that they're using, ready to go.
Yes. And they are moderately customized. They have like Lemons logos on it. I don't know if you noticed.
I think they have ones that didn't too. They had both.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. The ones you get on the iRacing site have no logos on it whatsoever, except for like the NASCARs have like they have like
they have the built-in stuff.
Yeah. Hardee's.
So that's the basic. Right. If you know nothing and you're just like, I just want to make it a funny color, click, 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 go racing, right?
That's right.
Simple.
If you want teal and pink and all sorts of weird colors, yes.
And there's a lot of designs. Like there's a lot of different swirls and stripes and things, so that they don't look boring if you change your colors.
Yes. They look fine, and you can pick, they have drop-down boxes where you can pick different sponsors and stuff, and there's like a small set that you can do. After that, you can come up with some pretty good stuff. You can do some things, but the important part here is, if you're going to go whole hog into this, that you get those templates, because maybe you want to run a car that Lemons doesn't run.
So step 1, templates.
Get the template.
Check.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's the minimum.
So Chris, this is where you kind of like stopped, right?
I got the template. I got the program GIMP, which is, I understand, a free ripoff of Photoshop, with which I was attempting to edit this. And I would imagine most of our listeners, if they have Photoshop, they have some idea of how to use it, hopefully. And for the rest of the people, they don't have it. They're going to use the free one that they can get, because this is the only time they're using it, so they're on GIMP. That's my guess.
But even then, you're struggling because you don't understand layers and
like, how do I select the layer? Then how do I?
Right, you just want to click on that picture, but you have to go find what layer the picture is in and what part it is in.
Yes,
I just wanted to color the car. Like I wanted to put a red thing.
To color the car. Is this like a Twitch?
Yeah.
It's
So
like Twitch.
yeah. So you're like on step 3 here. Now we got to get to step 2 first.
Sorry. You know
So-
how I am.
So step 2 is basically you want something that goes beyond the set of colors and stuff you can customize right through iRacing.
Yeah, 'cause that's what I was going to say is, oh my God, this is BMW boring.
Yes.
Just colors.
Yes. So you go to a website called tradingpaints.com. You set up an account with your iRacing account number and the same email address, and you give it a password, and it sends you an email within iRacing, and you click the verify, and then it will link the 2 accounts together.
So this is like an app that its only function is to paint your iRacing car.
Its function is to download all the paints from all the iRacing cars for the people you are running against off the web.
Including
So-
you. Yes.
Yes. So basically, it's a paint sharing program and website.
Hashtag they should totally sponsor us.
So we're talking about a niche market of a niche market of a niche market. It's like the people who play iRacing, the people who want to customize their car, and the people who want to see other customized cars. That's what Trading Paint is for.
Yes. So if you don't want to customize your car, but you want to see the other customized cars, go to Trading Paints, get the account, get the downloader, just run it in the background when you start iRacing. There's an option to have it automatically start up. It's a tiny little thing. It doesn't take up a whole lot of resources.
And it's free.
And it's free. It's totally free.
And because you're a smart computer guy, this isn't creepy Ukrainian social engineering spam bot. This is enthusiast guy like you that made some program that's not going to screw up my iRacing.
Yes. And they have a
Excellent.
business model that basically, if you go very deep into Trading Paints, you can sell skins. You can sell these paints to other racers. And you need like the subscription version, and they take a cut and all that. So that's their business model.
All
They're
right, so we're
enthusiasts.
talking
They built
about
it.
like pennies off of pennies off of pennies. Percentage
No,
of pennies. This is like Superman 3, right?
No, but these
No.
are basically a bunch of gems. These are a bunch of gems who made something cool, and then if you really, really want to exploit it, then they're going to take a tiny cut of your
Yeah.
lunch money. But they built it knowing they weren't going to make any money. They just love this crap.
Right. But they charge for subscription fees that will basically pay for the server space.
But you don't need the subscriptions.
No, you don't.
Got it.
And
Keep
you
going.
don't even need the. And then they have a showroom. And you pick your car and you go in and you scroll through and you could do searches and basically anything that is common, so common that you're tired of seeing it, like the martini and the Gulf and a bunch of other stuff.
I recognize that it's cliche everywhere else. We don't badmouth golf on this show.
Or martini.
I am not bad mouthing them because they're very, very well done. But if you want to do it, just go download it.
Fair.
Save yourself a lot of time. It looks fantastic. I saw a Miata with a Mach 5 that looked great.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
so actually Bill did this. Bill had a bunch of superhero cars from Garage Heroes in Training. So he had a Spider-Man car and he had a Deadpool car. They were all Miatas, I think. And his looked great and he didn't do anything. He just like literally went to Trading Paints, click, 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 probably paid somebody because Bill pays everybody. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you saw him at Pittsburgh. He was throwing $100 bills everywhere.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
like-
just because you were taking your pants off.
Make it rain.
Monster energy drink, 6 or 7 different versions, and they all look great. Like the people on there, they do a fantastic job. You want something that is common that lots of people want, you can
It's
probably
there.
just download it.
All right.
Right.
Right. So we've got Trading Paints. We've got our template. Now we're into step 3. We're in your photo editing program, whether it's
Yes.
Photoshop or GIMP. Let's stick to those, right?
Right. So
How do I make it hella sweet?
So basically you will open up the template in the program, and it needs to be able to understand layers, which GIMP does. and Photoshop does, and export to a TGA file. It's one
That's
of the
like
many
step 8
formats.
is exporting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you're
Okay.
searching for a program and you don't want GIMP and you don't want Photoshop, it has to understand Photoshop files and layers, and it has to export to TGA.
And I'm going to
Okay.
definitely say that, and I know this because I do Photoshop every now and then. Layers is really the key to understanding this whole genre of making. I hope Omar is listening out there because he's probably banging his head against the computer, going, "They should have asked me on the podcast today." Layers is the key.
Well, it's 9 o'clock. Is he awake yet?
I don't know. Layers is the key to understanding how these Paint, GIMP, Photoshop work. Basically,
Yes.
Give us the quick and down and dirty, because you're gonna explain it, and then I'm gonna tell everybody to learn how to learn it.
Okay. So within these programs, they have a concept of layers, and sometimes there's layer groups and sublayers and stuff. But basically, think of them as layers of paint. So you put primer on, and then on top of that you put a color, and then on top of that you put a different color, and so on. You build up the paint till you get it to where it looks the way you want it to. The same thing happens in these digital photo editing programs. The top layer, there'll be a list of layers. The top layer is the one you see, and then for parts that doesn't cover, you see the one underneath that. For parts that are not covered, you see the one under that, all the way down through to the bottom.
And there's a difference here than paint, because the entire car is layers. So blank page, and then the mask is a layer, which is what makes it have shape, and then the body contour is a layer, and then the wireframe is a layer. And so it's not just the paint that are these layers.
Right. So these templates come with a set of different layers. The one of them will be called the custom spec map, and just that one's turned off. That's used for iRacing, so they can do. If you want to get really deep, it's like, is this metallic or is this non-metallic kind of stuff? I haven't gotten that deep into there, so.
That's probably way deeper than our listeners are going to care about.
Oh, yeah. So no one's going to complain that, this metal flake is not bass boat enough. I need to adjust that. Right.
So we're going.
Which, by the way, no metal flake is ever bass boat enough. It's kind of like having a car that's too fast. I'm just going to throw that out there.
So you're not going to learn how to use GIMP or Photoshop on this show, but I'm going to give you the tip on how to do it. You probably know the concept enough now, if you've paid attention to what we were saying, to go to YouTube, and every time you want to do something, literally type that into the search bar. How do I remove a background in GIMP? And then watch a couple of videos. A lot of
videos are an hour long. Like, I tried to do that.
Yes.
And
Yes. But if you're going to be dedicated to your craft, it's true. But this is how I learned Photoshop. Literally saying, crap, I want to make that background transparent. How do I make the background transparent? And then once you do it a couple of times, you'll forget. Like a year later, you'll be like, how do I do it? And then you'll watch the first 10 minutes and go, oh, I remember this layer, this layer, this layer. So YouTube University will teach you all the things to do in GIMP or Photoshop.
Especially GIMP.
Especially GIMP, because GIMP is the free one.
Yes. So then there's another set of layers, and the label on that one is turn off before exporting TGA. And that's where all the stuff that iRacing doesn't want to see is in it. So that's where the car decals that iRacing will stick on the side of the car no matter what you do, those sit in there.
It's where the number blocks are, right?
The number blocks and the sponsor blocks. And basically they're these translucent rectangles of some hideous color that show you, don't paint here if you're going to put a sponsor logo on it.
Because when the sponsor logo goes, it's going to be a higher layer than your stuff, and it's going to cover it.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can just undo that layer, and you can then put whatever you want on that spot.
Right.
And there's something hidden in there that I want you to cover, Jim, and that's the wireframe and how
Yes,
you
I'm
use
just getting
that.
to it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so there's also the mask, and basically that will give you the shape of all the car panels. And then the wireframe, which is turned off when you first open it up, so you have to turn it on. So go down in your little layer list. There'll be a section with eyeballs. Just click in the little square where the eyeballs show up, and you'll be able to see it. And that will put lines in the mask.
Like a topographical map.
Yeah, so it's like the contours of the cars will all be in there. So you can see this is where this bend starts. This is where it ends. And then basically there'll all be all these triangles and quadrilaterals.
Yeah.
So basically funky shaped rectangles. So the bigger ones are flatter. The smaller ones are bendier.
And if there's a whole bunch of lines together, just like a topographical map, that is a mountain or a valley.
Yes. Yeah.
And
so then
I want to say why this is important from like a bit of an artistic thing is if you're putting something that needs to be seen as a graphic, like I have a giraffe puppet that is eating the number on the hood. And
a fantastic shark.
It is. It's got an arm sticking out and everything. You have to make sure that sits on the same panel and doesn't bend around the corner, because if it bends around the corners, you're not going to see it in any one specific place.
Or if it does bend around the corner, you want to make sure it bends in such a way that it looks good.
And if you're doing stuff like flames or scallops or stripes, you want to follow the body lines of the car.
Yes. And basically, the wireframe, so all those lines that it puts in the picture, that maps to the 3D model. So all the little intersections map to a specific point on that 3D model that they render. So
okay.
It can be very complex to do 3D modeling, but you look at the wireframe and then you look at what the car looks like in the game, and you go, all right, I get where this part is.
So, but the wireframe, you can't select, like those aren't boxes to select to fill in things like the way they look.
I wish. Make my life so much easier.
That would be a lot better, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things you want to learn about,
like how do I draw something on the car? Like, for example, I'm doing a duo car Solstice. Big surprise. I need to draw the red things on the side, right?
Okay.
So what I ended up doing was taking the like hand drawing tool and rough ass drawing a circle with little things, wing things on the side, and paint can fill. It looks terrible, but it was, 20 minutes before the race, and I hadn't had it done yet. I had to do something. So what is like a good way to just draw like a stripe or a circle or draw a dick on your car, whatever you want to do?
So let's start with stripes because they're easier.
Okay.
So you have the wireframe, and what you can do is find the selection tool that looks like a lasso.
Okay.
And then what you will do is you will draw a rectangle following the wireframe. So you click on one of the intersections, and then you go along the body line, and you click on the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. You get to the end of the panel, so you come across.
Yeah.
And then you click all the way back, and then you go, and then you click across, and then you close
to complete
it.
the rectangle.
Yeah,
okay.
you make the box.
Then you make a box, and basically, it's a box when it gets rendered because you followed the body lines.
Mm-hmm.
And then you dump the paint can in there, and it will only fill the selection.
Now, and you
Dude,
can
Mental's
also
doing this as we speak.
Yeah.
No, and I'm looking stuff up. So, and I'm gonna side note into nerdy land here. So I've looked up about these trading paint guys. One of them is based in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Another one is based in Georgia. Yes. So this is and I'm watching, and all of their on the about page of Trading Paints, their Twitter accounts, all of their Twitter things, it's all about, they're all gearheads. So yeah, These guys are just hardcore gearheads with some real serious. I'm trying not to use nerds in a derogatory sense. They've obviously got their feces in one sock, and they've figured this out. And they're like,
why would their poo be in their sock?
Because you get your shit in one sock, Jeff. That's how it works. If you didn't have an engine under a tarp in your yard,
it doesn't work that way. Don't put poo in your sock. Listen. Here. I wanted to say something else about the lasso tool, because there isn't going to be a body line if you're trying to make swoops and things. You don't have to follow the body lines with those little clicky dots.
No, you don't. No,
They
but I
will
mean, like,
connect a straight line to wherever you're going, and that lasso tool is very important for adjusting other graphics, like
And you could
removing
also-
backgrounds and making things transparent.
But
Yes.
if you could use that lasso tool to make a very many-sided circular-ish thing potentially.
Exactly.
yes, you can.
Yes, you
Okay.
should go along the shaft,
Yeah.
and make the bulbous head,
Yeah.
and then do the other side of the shaft. Don't
Yeah.
forget the
So you-
stepbrothers on the bottom.
Okay, good. Got
So
it.
you
For
draw,
those of us
you draw
joining us
lightning.
in the middle of the podcast, we're talking about cars.
So you draw the lightning racetrack.
Okay. Yep. Got it.
Anyway,
Water
so you-
pump from a 4-cylinder Toyota pickup. Same design.
So you don't have to follow the wireframe. Absolutely not. You can do whatever you'd like. But if you're looking at, I want to go under where this curves, or I want to start where this curves.
Or
Like I was-
do the wheel arch. Like
Right.
that's something you can actually see in the wireframes usually.
Yes. So I was making a paint job for the Radical. And you know how like the top of the body has that long pointy bit that goes out the front? Well, I wanted just the sides of that to be a separate color. So I followed the wireframe.
Because
Made it
that's
so-
how you would paint a real car. You would put a masking tape along where the body creased. And say,
Yes.
that's where the stripey gonna go.
Yes. There's another feature of these programs called Quick Mask. So basically, you can say Quick Mask, and it'll turn. Usually, it turns it red. Turns like they'll get a red sheen over the whole thing, and you erase the red in the spot you want to paint.
Oh, that would have
Oh,
been
yeah.
helpful. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Shift Q.
Got it. So
I
can
worry I was
I?
going to quit the program if I did that.
So I'm gonna give you another idea. Don't worry about the stripes. Don't worry about any of that. Get a giant ass picture and put it over the whole thing. So
That actually works.
this is what I did with the giraffe car. Is I just took a picture of giraffe cartoon, and I blew it up, and I don't have the corona, I promise. I blew it up over the entire thing and just laid it on the car.
But how? How did you do that?
So here's what you do.
Like
You
to
Google,
get it on the whole car, I guess.
you
Right.
Google, how do I import a picture into GIMP?
Oh,
and it will
importing a
tell
picture is
you.
easy. You just drag it in. And
Yeah, exactly. I
basically,
just
that's it.
made it the entire size of the entire thing.
And it only went on the car.
And it only goes on the car because the mask already exists.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so your GIMP thing pretty much looked just like a big thing of giraffe. You couldn't see anything else.
No, as soon as I dropped the layer in the right
Over the top.
spot,
Okay.
it only layered on the car and it didn't layer on the entire page.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why
So-
layers are important.
Yeah. So what I do basically is I go through and I go down to the bottom of the three groups of layers. We'll say paintable area. And you open that up, and the bottom one is main car body.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what I do is I make another, that becomes the base color of the car, and I just drop paint and paint the whole big square, because that's what it is. It's a big square. You paint it black or blue or whatever color you want. Then I make another layer above that. And then that's where I add in the graphics and the stuff like that. So
Because you want the graphics to appear above the main body.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then I add a layer above that for like the E1R stickers, and one above that for the 3 p.m. sticker that I put on the car, and so on. So you can go through and you could add lots and lots and lots of layers. And then if it's becoming too much and you're finished with a group of them, you can squash those layers down into one, so it'll save on your memory and processing power as you're working.
Oh, I didn't do that. That's a good thought.
Yeah, merge down.
Yeah, merge down.
in GIMP.
So this is how you have to think of it. You have to think of it in layers, and you have to start with the bottom layer, just like, when we painted the car Godzilla, we painted it black first, and then we painted the green on top.
Actually, black, then white. Yeah, but yeah.
I'm
Black,
going.
then white, and then we did the masking with the
For the numbers.
basketball net. Yeah.
Yeah.
But because we were thinking about it in the sense of what's the thing we want to shine through all of these layers, because we didn't want to paint on top of. We didn't want to do the 41 on top of the lizard skin. We wanted the 41 to come from the wizard skin, and it all tracks. So think of it. It's the same way we painted the infamous pizza delivery truck. We started with the number, the bottom layer, and then we did white, and then we did the rest of the car red.
This skill is the same skill you need to use in GIMP. It's just conceptually different, because the car itself, the shapes, and the bends are all layers that you can accidentally paint under.
Yes. And if you paint over something, there's always undo. And you could always work on a new layer and move them up and down, and you can delete entire layers. You could add new layers. Digitally, it's much easier than like working with real paint. So you were talking about doing the Godzilla car for the iRacing race we just did. I did a Godzilla car, and I painted the car black, because in iRacing it sticks the numbers on the outside, and there's a thing. So I didn't have a number to start with. So I started with all black, and then I painted it all green, and then I used what they call a layer mask. So like the quick mask, you can attach a mask to the entire layer, whereas the quick mask is for making selections. You can take a selection, you can turn it into a layer mask. And those are black or white typically, and that's either full transparent or full opaque. So black and white are full one way or the other. And then any shade of gray turns it transparent. So if you are at 50% gray, your color will be 50% transparent on top of the bottom color.
Because you can paint with transparency on these layers also.
Yes.
Raise your hand if your brain is broken.
No, I actually think of it as the photo editing software on your iPhone. And you have the highlighter and the marker. And the highlighter, you can set how thick that is going to be on there. That makes total sense. And if I'm hearing you correctly, and everyone on the show, feel free to correct me. Well, not like you guys have any problems with that. But as I understand, basically,
I love it when Mental leans into the microphone, by the way. His voice gets so sexy when he's...
Now, folks...
Not as sexy as that beard, but what I'm hearing you say, you've given us a basic explanation of the tools, which even my dumb, and I'm the dumbest guy on this call, understands. But also, you're just saying, screw around with it, fool around, make some broken stuff, because you're not actually even wasting paper and pen. You're just wasting time, which we're all at home. So what else are you gonna friggin' do?
But you're not wasting time because you're building a skill.
Ooh, bam!
So I mean, come on.
Knowledge. You're never wasting time when you're building a skill. I friggin' love that.
You want to erase your ex-wife from the wedding picture?
Oh, yes. And actually, I kind of do, because I had a great, I was young and trim my first marriage.
So anyway.
Young and trim is where first marriages usually go.
No, That's awesome.
So that's what I did. I had a black car. I made it all flat black, or just plain black, nothing on it. Then I made it green, and then I went into that layer mask and I put diamonds in it. And then it was done.
Then bam.
Why don't you put diamonds in it? Just
I made a diamond. I made a square shape, and then I squished it a little and rotated it till it was a diamond, and then I just copy pasted it.
Yeah,
Okay.
copy paste is really important on this. And
Yes.
every time you manipulate something, the first thing you have to do is select the right layer.
Mhm.
So if you
Yes.
drop an E1R logo in and it goes on the hood and you're like, oh crap, I want that on the fender, you could click it for a day and not be able to move it because you forgot to go over and select that layer, and then you could pick it up.
And if you're working with layer masks, make sure you're selecting the layer, not the mask, because you can move the mask and the layer separately.
Yeah,
Mm.
you have no idea how many times I had to rotate the E1R logo 180 degrees because from left fender to right fender. And every time I did it, the entire freaking car turned over.
You're gonna say
no.
there's gonna be so many
I'm gonna
times where
go
you're gonna be like, no,
There's
no,
really
I do.
Control Z. Okay, I'm gonna do it right this time. Rotate 180.
you
Crap!
you can't
Control Z.
rotate it more than 4 times, Jeff, because otherwise you're back where you started.
Yeah. So it's going.
I have an idea.
Let me try and wrap up a little bit, and then we'll give Jim the final thought here. This is going to be a crazy, infuriating, frustrating process. But I
can agree.
But it will click. As soon as you understand the concept, it'll start to work. Once you start to get into it, it gets faster and easier and faster and easier. We were talking on Discord about, it was Matt, Shirtless Matt, Uncle Dave,
Pantless Matt,
and a few others. And we were talking about Dave's car because it looked like the Cressida. And Matt said, God, I really wish somebody I could figure this out because I would love to have something that looks like the Firebird. And Dave said, do you have the file for the stripes? He said, yes. 20 minutes later, he was handing him the Firebird.
Oh.
Because when you figure it out, it's a lot easier than you think. When you don't have a clue, you're effing lost.
Yep.
Mental, you got your hand up.
So what you're saying is, it's kind of like racing.
It's nothing like racing.
The more you do it, the more you talk to other people, the more you start to figure it out.
No,
racing is still fun when you are new at it.
This is immensely easier than racing.
But
it's more frustrating when you start out, Chris. I agree.
Chris, way less frustrating than you, because even when you're stuck at racing, you're having fun. All right, now I hear you, but it is everything we've been preaching for 134 episodes. Do it until you get better at it.
And you don't have a car to go race. What else are you doing except looking cool in iRacing?
You can only wash your car so many times.
So there's a couple other cool little features of these templates. There'll be one layer. It will be called interior color, and it's a little square. And you can drop paint in that, and that will paint the interior of your car.
Whoa!
Pit box color.
I did a solid car because I'm not into this yet, and my interior is a blindingly annoying purple, which I wanted the car to be obvious outside the track, but I use an Oculus, so inside the car it's freaking annoying, and I would love to be able to have a nice flat white.
I like the shade of blue that you picked, though.
That's the Solstice. My Miata is purple.
Okay, so there's pit box color. So you know the little pop-up tent or the rolling toolboxes they render in pit lane?
Yeah, for the dirt tracks, absolutely.
No, for all tracks.
For all the tracks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
drop color in that square, and it will paint the top of the...
Can you do an image on that too?
I've not been able to make that work.
No, because
Okay.
I dropped giraffe on it like 37 times trying to get it to work, and it didn't.
All right.
Jeff, after
Yeah.
13, you're really just wasting your time.
Well, and dropping
Yes.
giraffes is not easy. It's like
And,
Yeah.
damn,
So big.
neck keeps getting in the way.
Yeah. And though there will be lots of things in the mask, and you have no idea, and you're looking at the wireframe, and you're going, I have no idea what part of the car this is.
I do
You
not
could
know
ignore
what
it. Or you could just like take the white spray can and scribble on it and go look at it in iRacing and spin around and go, well, I don't see that part. Or you find out, oh wait, no,
look, it's the
that is
underside of the wing.
or the underside of the windshield banner.
Yeah.
Or the inside of the side of the wing.
So let me wrap this up with the last part, step whatever we're on, 272, where you just go, screw it, I'm doing blue. You have to give it to Trading Paints, and you have to put the file, save it, export it a certain way, and put it in a certain place, and then load it to Trading Paints. And I think that's like a missing concept for some of the people.
Yes, so iRacing pulls up the file out of a directory. It sits on your hard drive. If it's not on hard drive, you get like a built-in something or other, whatever you last were playing around with.
Yeah, the blue.
The blue.
The stock
most likely.
blue, yeah.
Yeah. So inside your documents folder, there is a folder called iRacing, and then one called Paint. And then inside that directory, there's one for each of the cars.
All of a sudden, I'm disturbed by my background, by the way. Okay, go on. I'm sorry. That's completely redundant to the podcast listeners.
And then within there, you put the file in as a TGA file, and it's car_your user ID.tga.
Now, there's a way you can do this, right? I think in iRacing, it lets you upload or it's in Trading Paints. One of them. I didn't have to do this step. I didn't have to do a directory and all that crap. I just said, here's my TGA file for this car. Thanks, and it did it for me.
And you can upload it right in the Trading Paints.
Yeah, that's it.
And then Trading Paints will download it for you and put it in the right spot with the right number and with everybody else.
Yeah.
But if you're working like the way I work, is I have iRacing sitting open with a replay of the car that I drove out onto the track and did a donut or something, so it's out on the track, and I pause the replay. And I just export to that with the right file name to that directory. Then I go over to iRacing and I control
And you
R,
can look at it.
and I use WASD to spin the camera around.
Mhm.
You have to type control
normally
F12 to do
people
that.
as smart as Jim don't have this kind of practical application, but Jim's been racing with us.
So the YouTube's taught me how to do this too. So I'm just going to put another plug for if you literally do like how to paint my car in iRacing. Yes, it will be an hour and a half long. Yes, the guy probably has a funny accent that you're going to have to not laugh at for a long time because he's probably in Soviet Russia where I paint you, not the other way around. But you're going to be able to figure it out. And if you can't, you can just fast forward and rewind to the one thing that you don't remember how to do.
But you know what? If you do figure it out or you've got a question, in both cases, get a hold of us on any of our social media.
Yeah.
Because if you're
Dave
asking that question,
Carpenter
everybody's asking that
@gmail.com.
question.
I know nothing about this.
No, you know what? Ask us. We'll find an answer. Dustin or Fat Crack Racing had a really nice 80s livery for their Champ Car entry. We've got some smart people. Jim just walked us through the technical aspects of it, and I think between our network of folks, we can answer whatever question you guys have. And if you have a question, you're not the only one with a question.
All of us together are almost as good as one kind of smart person. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Now we need an Omar.
yeah.
Who, again, like you said, is yelling at his phone right now. Oh my God, you should have had me on the show.
So he can make me a drink.
Don't
Don't let
drink
him
that.
No.
make you a
Drink that.
drink.
Never. He you wake up with one shoe outside of Hardee's and have no idea where you are.
Chrissy, there was a trading paints question that was in pink that I didn't know if you wanted to ask or not, right at the bottom. Or did you not even pay attention anymore? You lost it.
I wasn't sure if we were going in order. Once you have it all done, how does the trading paints deal work again to share? Will people be able to steal my work?
So once you upload the file to Trading Paints, the Trading Paints downloader program that you're running when you start iRacing, when the sim loads up, it basically queries the sim and finds out who you're racing against, and then will download the skins.
So
and iRacing is smart enough to render those for you.
So
Nice.
basically,
As they
if
show up.
you upload it and you're in a public race, anybody can steal your paint job.
Yes, they get the TGA file gets dropped down into their machine on the hard drive. There's the default settings for Trading Paints has a thing that says clean up the paints when you're done racing, and it will delete them.
Hey,
And-
anybody that wants to steal an
but you can
E1R
uncheck
paint
that.
scheme, especially if it's got an E1R logo on it, you kids go nuts.
That's what I was going to say. If you want a giraffe solstice, go steal it. But I also wanted to say, don't put your social security number and your credit card number in your paint scheme.
What?
Because
Oh my God, I quit.
this stuff is this stuff is public. And yes, people are selling them, so you don't want to steal their work. But if you want to have that really cool Gulf livery, just go steal
get it. No, just go get it out of the Trading Paints showroom.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's
People
like
are giving
it's like
it to
Eclipse.
They've got the common ones. That's and that's really, and I would argue that in this particular case, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do
And-
that.
And the guys that are putting their stuff in the showroom, that's what they want. They want you to have them.
I put
That's
mine
why
in the
they're doing
showroom.
Cool.
All right. I think we have broken everyone's brain. I think we have that to death. I don't think that, like, I can hear everybody tuning away except for Chris Egan, who's like, and Omar, who are telling us that we're doing it wrong.
No, at least we'll be able to fumble through slightly better than I did the first time. So.
Exactly.
Well, and I'm betting on Monday the E1R Racing League is going to have a lot more interesting paints. I feel a Momrath theme coming on. I think there's of course there's a giraffe already out there. The Gojira. What else? What are some great
Duocar?
spam?
I'm
The
trying.
spam bot. The friggin' gather
Spam
currency and disregard maidens. Absolutely, there are some
I think-
great. We could totally relive all of the great themes. That
The problem
Blue
is
Coffee
there's
has
no
done
car
over
in
the
shape
years.
of a boat, so I can't make the Jaws boat. I can't do, doesn't help. But
Nope.
alternative breakfast meat. Oh my God.
Oh,
Why didn't I make a spam car or a pork roll?
Dougie, are you listening? Because the
Damn it.
spam car
I
is
am doing a TDI that is pork roll themed as soon as we get done this.
and screen capture it and put it on his Facebook. 'cause
Absolutely.
he'll have an aneurysm. It'll be great. That is
Ah,
awesome.
Chrissy, is it
No,
just
no,
a
seriously.
typical-
And I wrote down notes.
Oh, sorry.
I'm and this is this Jim. Thank you. This
welcome.
tracks. This makes a lot of sense. And I was just smart enough to understand what you're talking about with layering. I'm going to screw this up for the next 4 days, but I'll understand why I screw it up afterwards.
Well, we can always get on the Zooms here, and I can share my screen with you and show you a few things.
Boom. That just happened.
All righty, it is just the tip.
Yep.
All right. I'm not as interesting as Chrissy. I'm sorry. And speaking of Chrissy, she's working out 4 times a day, which makes me feel like a friggin' sloth. Thanks a lot. Seriously. Yeah. I can actually see the guns through the Garage Heroes and Training sweatshirt there. But
What?
Oh, no, it's an E1R
Oh.
sweatshirt.
my apologies.
Come on.
Everyone
Frick would wear
here.
Garage Heroes.
I wore it last week. I didn't realize we were recording. I would have worn. That's why I wore E1R
I hope
tonight.
that
Come
I hope
on.
you put this on YouTube because that was
Oh, it's
perfect
going on
timing,
YouTube.
Jeff.
Okay.
Excellent. But I'm actually down a few pounds, and my average mile time for my longer runs has gotten a good bit quicker. So this is a great time. We've talked about this over and over. The primary focus of this podcast is endurance racing. You got to be in the car. You got to be in the car anywhere from 45 minutes to 2+ hours. And then if you're really nuts, you do 4 hours because you're trying to win Class B. This is a great time for you to build your endurance that this entire sport values a lot, and it doesn't take any specialized gym equipment. You're still allowed to go outside. You're just not allowed to do the same stuff all the time. Walking or running, and if you're going outside for your regular aerobic exercise, follow some guidelines here. Now, there is actually no evidence currently. I have jumped on some bad wagons when this started, and I have learned my lesson. But right now, the CDC has no evidence that coronavirus is transmitted through sweat. Do you need a mask when you go outside? Now, my run, I'm actually inside urban Las Vegas. The city gets pretty desolate. But if you're finding sections, you're going to a park or something like that, and there's a lot of folks, folks, it's an issue. Put on the mask. If you don't know how to make a mask, we've got a link on our show notes that shows shows you how to make a really good mask. It is going to make it more challenging, but you can always slow down your pace and you can practice a breathing exercise. And even if you don't wear a mask, it's a good idea to have one on you while you're out running, just in case. Now, you want to bring a tissue or a rag with you in case you've got to touch something like a cross sign or something like that. Tissue.
Not that tissue, Jeff.
Not that tissue. You're going to want to put that tissue in a Ziploc bag, because if you're holding it in your hand, it's going to become very small and crusty very quickly. If you listen regularly to the show, you're probably as addicted to movement as the rest of us. But even if you're not, this is an understanding it's a quote from an article. Not very many years ago, the very brightest minds in neuroscience thought that our brains had a set number of neurons, and that in adulthood, no newer neurons were going to be formed. And it turned out not to be true. Studies in animal models have suggested that new neurons are produced in the brain throughout the lifespan. And so far, the only activity we know to trigger the birth of new neurons is vigorous aerobic exercise. And that's from Karen Postal, the president of the American Academy of Clinical Neuropsychology. That's it. It's the only trigger we know about. And even Dr. Fauci, who may not be employed
My man!
longer. Yeah. But anyway, Dr. Fauci is an avid runner, and him and other health experts have urged people to get outdoors for their physical and mental health. Chrissy, real quick, sing Let Me Out, Let Me Go.
Let me go, let me go. Please let me out of this house. I need to run. I need to hide away from my husband.
You can leave anytime
care.
you want. You know where the door is.
So, and that's the point.
Can I say here, you're saying let me go for my husband. The wife and I are taking daily 2-mile walks, which is not incredibly vigorous, but it is her pace, and it has become a great time for us to sit and talk to each other, because when we're in the house, we're on our phones, we're yelling at the dogs, we're telling Josh to do his homework. So it has become a great time to relax.
It's very nice of you. We sit
That's
in
awesome.
a tiny bedroom together all day.
And this is great because you guys have a 4-bedroom house, but you spend all day.
Well, when
See
we
that-
set the office up, it worked out great. But
See that?
it's
See that
been a
chair right
month now.
there?
Yes.
That's my wife's office. That's why we have the green screen.
Yes.
So if you've got your movement and you've given it up under this one, don't. Follow the rules, stay safe. And if you're not moving, this is the time. This is the time to get that habit, get moving. All right, drop some mass and actually get out there and make your car faster.
Yeah,
I'm off my soapbox.
if you want to take up road biking, it's a great time because no cars on the road to hit you, or fewer at least, and they're going faster.
And, but we're all gearheads, which means that we're looking, so.
Yeah.
That's great. Do we have a clue what we're doing next week?
No.
Did we say hi to Chrissy's mom this week?
No.
Oh my God.
We almost missed it.
Good catch,
Oh.
Jeff. Oh.
Not
So
too
you know
late.
Somebody
who
out there.
who never misses an opportunity to go outside and make the world a better place?
That's true.
Chrissy's mom.
Chrissy.
Somebody just got bingo on that, and they're like, I was waiting the entire show. Look, thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. But we all have to wait until after the coronation. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. You don't need to wait. You can go right now to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Everybody who gives us a 5-star rating gets a password to the E1R races.
Ooh.
If you have any questions or show ideas, or you want the password, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram or Twitters or Twatters or Twitch or any of those other. No, we're not there. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the layers up. Unless you don't know how to use the layers, then just keep the wheels down.